Hello and welcome to In 20 with me, Roshan Narayan. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to turn on the notifications and do follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter account. And sooner or later, I'm going to give you my bank account because we really need sponsors to get this show up and moving. Because that's what we want to do. We want to get the biggest names in and around Asia, around the world, up close and personal with you within the next 20 minutes. And joining us today is a very good friend of mine. She's been representing Malaysia globally, the one and only Colleen Augustin. Colleen, thank you so much for
Hi.
joining us. How things? Are you out shopping or something like that? I can't believe I could use the word shopping. Are you shopping or something, or just grabbing a quick bite?
No, no, I was just out with my brother and his girl. So I just kind of like, okay, you know what? Give me. I'm like, I already made a plan. So I was like, okay, you know what? I can sneak away for like 20 minutes and get this stuff done. So like, you know what? I can multitask. No
I,
problem.
that's something I can't do. I mean, it's if my left hand has no idea what my right hand is doing, but you, on the other hand, are completely focused. And I've heard a story, and you have to confirm this for
hmm
me. You've gone from the from a ballet background, using your legs to do the twirl, to taking someone's head off. How did that transformation take place?
I mean, it's not really like a huge transformation for me. For me, it's kind of like I've been doing martial arts since I was a kid. I'm like a very active child. I used to do ballet, of course, but I used to play basketball competitively. I used to do several different martial arts growing up. So it is not very far fetched into going into MMA in per se, but my love for fighting grew by literally accident because I never
Well,
thought that I would ever fight. I just learned martial arts for the sake of it, just to self defense, and then I fought my first fight, and I was just like, yes, I want to do this.
there's somebody else who has a dance background who's in the world of MMA, Israel Adesanya, who came from a freestyle background, dance,
Yes.
correct? And I mean, everyone keeps saying that it's because of this background he has got good balance. I'm not the greatest, mixed martial arts expert. I mean, Jean Claude Van Damme was a guru for me. Bloodsport, the movie, was the best karate movie ever. But does having a background in dance really help you?
For me personally, I feel like it does because it helped me pick up Muay Thai so much more easily because it's so much where you're on your toes, and in ballet you're literally on, like, it's not on your toes, it's like on the knuckles of your toes you have to stand and you put your full weight on it. So having that learning of, you know, how to control your balance, you know how to control your weight, you're literally so bodily aware that when you come into martial arts and like learning all like jiu-jitsu, wrestling, and MMA, it's so much of an easier transition because you're already so aware of your body that when the coach says do this, you're like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to move this way. So I feel like it gives us like a head start. Like it makes it easier to learn so many things.
I'm just looking at my feet right now, and I'm just trying to imagine me balancing on that. I don't think I can't even stand on one foot. I'm a natural gift to the sporting world. But another person you mentioned, there's the word transition. Anthony Joshua is one of the, I
Yes.
wouldn't use the term all-time greats, but he is on the way there. He started boxing at the age of
Yes.
18. So you mentioned that you picked up Muay
Yes.
Thai and then mixed martial arts later on. Is there an age barrier where if you cross that line, you can't get into this genre?
I wouldn't say that. Like to me, I've always said like it's never too late to start because you have some people who only start. Like I know some people, like my teammates that I trained, they only started in their early 20s or mid 20s. I was just very blessed that I started when I was 17, 18 years old. I believe like because for MMA, you really, like, what just my observation, that you really do hit your prime when you're about 30, 35. That's when you see so many world champions are made during that time. So I feel like even if you're starting in your mid 20s or even you start young, it is still great as long as you have the passion and drive for it. I feel like you can go anywhere that you want to be.
And in terms of learning, switching all these, from Muay Thai to all these other disciplines, do they feed off each other? I mean, how does it help you, get into the cage and apply your techniques and your processes?
Like for me, it's more of a like because each martial art has its own discipline, has its
Yep.
own kind of like technique and everything. But like for me, I use wrestling to kind of merge my Muay Thai and my ground game and my Jiu-Jitsu to put it into MMA. So there's always kind of like a conjoining martial art that you will learn to have that transition because MMA is a mix of different martial arts. It's not
Yeah.
just one. So a mixed martial artist is good at mixed martial arts, but doesn't necessarily mean they are like amazing in each and every other martial art, because an MMA fighter is someone who knows how to transition and blend all these things together. And mixed martial arts doesn't have to be only Muay Thai or anything. It could people be coming from mixing boxing and capoeira, and
Yeah.
that's still MMA. So it's just kind of like, I feel like it depends on each person. For me, I just love to use wrestling to merge everything together and make everything blend smoothly.
Based on my line of questioning in terms of the words I've been using, everybody out there will be like, this fellow only just watches like the UFC or One Championship or Pride or something like that. He's not jumped into the business. But the most important thing for me right now, having you on the show right now, is to help a parent out that decide, maybe my kid can follow, in your footsteps or the other footsteps and get into this. Does it teach you discipline? Does it help you become a better person, more in
Yes.
self-control? Does it help you with your mentality, just overall, it's a positive, wouldn't you say?
Yes, definitely. Like 100%. But of course, I need to also say that good coaches will have good students. It's like, okay, you watch all those old karate movies and stuff. When you have a bad teacher, your student's going to be bad too. Like, look at the Karate Kid. When you have a bad instructor, the children or the students are going to follow as well. If you have a good coach, like discipline, you will learn discipline. You will learn how to respect each other on the mats. I'm very blessed that I got to have coaches that teach me that they're so, yeah, like my coach Conrado, my professor Bernino, coach Medi, they're so like, they like, especially my professor, he's so like, respect each other on the mats. You're here together to train. Like, all my coaches are, we don't care what background you're from, you respect each
Mm.
other. You're all here to learn. It doesn't matter what age you are. You could be 17 years old, you could be 30 years old, and they gave everyone the same respect. And I feel like that carries on to us as well, where even people from outside the gym come to our gym. We try to make them feel like they're coming somewhere where it still feels somewhat familiar to them. So like,
Yeah.
for to all those parents, like if they're watching this, like, yes, doing like martial arts really can help your children, because it teaches them so much discipline. It teaches them that if you want to achieve something, you need to work hard for it. There is no shortcut. If you want to be good in martial arts, you need to work hard, you need to train hard. There is no like cheat code or anything like that.
When you finish your career in the cage, I think you'll be a great motivational speaker. I'm not joking. I'm actually quite serious about that. You've been talking about parents and trying to encourage them, or to let their children pursue their dreams. Your parents played a very big part in you pursuing your goals. True or false?
Yes, very, very true. Like, my parents have been amazing. I know that they didn't really want me to, they honestly thought it was a phase for me, because I was a professional obstacle course racer before this. And I started fighting while I was still racing. And I figured they thought like, oh, she's just gonna have her fun. She's young. And then after a while, I kind of told them like, I want to make this into my career. And I knew that they were like very skeptical, like, are you really sure? Because it's not an easy career to go for. And I feel like over time they really understood that, hey, she's very serious about this. Even though we might be skeptical, they've always still supported me along the way, like throughout the way. Even when they were like, are you sure? They were like, whatever you need, we will still help you. You need training here, we will help you. You need to go to Thailand to train, we will help you. Like,
Wow.
all these things. And now my parents are really so supportive that, like, when recently Chris Cyborg came up with like a announcement saying that, oh, I'm doing this master class sort of thing to teach you about champions mindset, or because she's like a champion of so many different promotions. And my mom was like, I'm gonna sign you up for this. If you get the slot, then great. But I'm just gonna register you and do this. Like, she was like, you're gonna need this for you to become a champion. And I was like, well, thank you.
That's beautiful. I mean, it shows in how far you've grown so fast. Like you said, how at what age you started. You're still a very young lady. You're pursuing your dreams. Were your parents very active in sports as well?
Oh yeah, like really. Like, my mom used to be a sprinter in high school. She's always stayed active. I remember growing up with like my brother and I, she always takes us out hikes and all that. My mom right now, she's 53, 54 years old, and she would go for boot camp 3 times a week, and she would do her yoga even after that tough boot camp session. She would be training like right now. because she works from home, I teach her Muay Thai every morning now, and she'll go like she's so active still. And my dad is ex-military, but when he in the military, he used to be a boxer. And then when he came out, he was still kind of like very active, doing gym, and then of course hiking with my mom and all that. So my brother and I kind of grew up in that sort of environment that being healthy, being fit is very important aspect in your life.
Respect you, Mr. Augustin, for representing the country in a field that very few go into, because it takes a lot, to join the army. Everybody can join a gang, as they say, but joining the army is when you're a man. And a lot of respect to your mom, who's kept so fit at this age. I find it hard just walking up the staircase to the studio. I'm breathing heavily. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack or things like that. But your brother is active as well in the world of mixed martial arts?
So my brother is actually so by job he's a personal trainer, but he's actually a Muay Thai fighter as well. So for Muay Thai, I train with him a lot, and he's always been there every single one of my fights that I can bring him. I always bring him whenever I can, and whenever my parents can afford to send him with me. Having him in my corner is always very, very kind of relaxing and soothing for me, because I have someone that I can trust no matter what. Like in Bangkok last year when I got the gold medal, he was the one in my corner because my coach Coco, my striking coach, couldn't come with me. So he was there telling me what to do during the striking, and then of course with my professor, and it really helped because I sometimes, before you fight, a lot of people don't know is that there's a lot of things that go through your mind sometimes. I think every athlete faces this as well. There's a lot of things that go through your mind, and having someone that you feel so comfortable with, that you can confide in, really helps a lot. Like when I was in Bahrain, I couldn't bring my brother with me because we were so far away. Every day I would call him, like, I just fought, did you watch it? What do you think? And he would really like talk to me and say like, hey, it's okay, don't worry about it. He would like basically be like my sounding board and would just help me make sense of things. Even when I lost for the first time in the World Championships, I called him and he was like, hey, you did a good job, don't worry, just come back and we train. He's so supportive with me, like with everything. He's always so supportive, always helping me as well in the gym. And
Yeah.
like I cannot, like he's my only sibling, and like I think I wouldn't be here without him as well. Like, I mean, it's very weird to say, but we actually have similar tattoos for that very reason.
Oh, that's quite cool. I got a tattoo of
Yeah.
my daughter's name on, me to remind me of what's the most important thing in my head. Just get whenever.
We have turtles.
Oh, you have turtles. That's a
We,
symbol of love, correct?
for the Polynesian, it's family and love. Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, I know my stuff. You mentioned something, which a lot of people will not understand. If you're in Asia, you've either played football, cricket, basketball,
Yes.
hockey, badminton, but knowing full well you're going to get kicked in the face, how do you mentally prepare for that? It's something a lot of people don't understand.
Okay, it is really hard to understand because, like, even me as well, in the beginning, when I was younger, I'm like, violence is not the answer. Like, I would never fight. I swear, this was me. My brother was the one, oh, I want to fight Muay Thai. And I was like, okay, I'm joining you, join the classes. I just fell in love. And it's just kind of like, I think, okay, this is going to be something really weird. You got to be a little bit crazy. Seriously, you got to be a little bit nuts to actually do this, because like it is not an easy sport because you get punched in the face. But for me, I think I'm quite blessed that I have that passion and that sort of craziness that like that I'm like really ready to go in there and just give it my all. And I think like training wise, it's helped a lot because I train mostly with men, and men of all different weight classes, from like about my weight to much heavier than me as well. Of course, they hit light, but their light, I still feel like it's heavy. But I feel like training with these men, training with my teammates and all that, you kind of get used to it. It's a very weird thing, but you kind of get used to getting punched. So like I'm so used to their strength and their power that when I go in a cage and fight someone my size and my height and my strength, when I get punched in the face, it's like it hurts, but
Yep.
it's bearable.
You know,
So it's like, yeah.
so, sorry to cut you off, but there's unfortunately the show is only 20 minutes, and I think I need to get to two very important points. You have represented Malaysia,
Okay.
you've picked up medals globally. Do you think that first and foremost, how did it feel to win your first medal on an international platform?
really I cried. If you watch the video, I really just cried because I heard the national anthem playing, and I was just like, I did this. Like I just realized, like all of a sudden, like, I did this. Even in the cage, because I had a nervous breakdown before my finals in the Asian Open, and having to win that, I knew what I just did for Malaysia and the history, and I was just so overwhelmed. Even in Bahrain as well, I was so sad I lost. But on that stage, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna own this. I'm the first person here, and I've made history for my country. I'm gonna do better next year. And honestly, it's just very emotional for me. It's more like yes, I did this. Now I'm really hoping that I paved the way for future generations, for future people to look at MMA and be like, hey, you can do this too. It's not like Malaysians, like Malaysia is here now. Like I put Malaysia on the map. Like now IMMAF and the world is seeing that Malaysia has talent. That was kind of like what I wanted, and I feel like I've managed to achieve that.
But the key thing is, and I've been in maybe say the football industry for about a good 10 plus years, just covering it, never played it professionally. But don't you think there should be a lot more financial backing for sports apart from football in Malaysia and maybe in the Asian region?
Of course, like it makes so much of a difference when you have so much support backing, helping the athletes grow and all that, because it gives them more opportunities to go out and compete in all these different places. And of course, I'm hoping that the more we fight and all this, right now we're putting in our own money, that hopefully that the government and of course everyone around will see that there is a future in this. It is not a blood sport. It is not blood fighting. It's not glory fighting. It is a sport. MMA is a sport. Like we discussed this with Mazma the other day. MMA is a sport. If only we could just be recognized and people realize that we are a sport, that I feel like we will get more financial backing. I think it just comes down to education. We need to educate people that MMA is not glory fighting. It is a sport in itself. We are athletes. We train. We fight. We diet. Everything.
Yeah, I mean, the key word there is that you're willing to sacrifice and promote being healthy, promote discipline, promote taking care of yourself in more ways than one.
Yes.
So hopefully you will get that backing, which you definitely deserve, and all the other fighters here in and around the region. But before we go, I've got to ask you this question as well.
Mm-hmm.
Nate Diaz is one of my favorite fighters. He's purely plant-based in terms of his diet. You're a vegan.
Yes.
Is that a massive misconception that, hey, you eat vegetables, man, you can't be strong enough, you can't sit in the cage?
Yes, there is. Like when I became a vegan, I was really doing MMA and had some teammates kind of going like, "Are you really sure?" Because like you need to be strong and all that. And I was just like, I'm doing this because I know this is right for the earth. I know this is right. This feels right in my heart. I know this is the right thing to do. And I knew that as long as I did the right thing, everything would fall in place. And that is exactly what happened. Everyone who has ever thought like, how can you be a vegan and you're gonna be fighting? I basically like said like, I know what, I'm gonna prove you wrong. Like I can be a vegan. Like look at Nate Diaz, and he's a freaking champion. Like now I'm gonna show that I can be a plant-based, fully vegan plant-based, and I'm gonna become a world champion. Like that there will be a belt around my shoulders, and I will be holding a vegan sign saying like plant-based works.
Plant-based works. Colleen, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for being honest with us. Thank you so much for joining us. A quick shout to your parents as well. No. By all means, it's an absolute pleasure. If people want to get in touch with you and show their support, be it by sponsorship or anything else, how do we reach out to you?
I'm very active on my Instagram, so do contact me. My handle is actually just there, Colleen Augustin MMA. Drop me a DM, drop me a message. I'll definitely reply. Even if I'm late, I will always reply. If you have any questions about anything, if you want to try veganism, you want to try MMA, anything.
Thank you so much for being on In 20. It's been an absolute pleasure. I'll leave you be right now. Thank you for sacrificing your time off away from practice to be with your family.
Okay.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much, Colleen. We shall talk soon, yeah?
Thank you.
All right, don't forget.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Colleen. If you do want to get in touch with the show, remember, get onto our Facebook page, our Twitter account, and our Instagram account as well. Or just follow us on our YouTube channel and turn on the notification. Till the next time.